Guys, welcome to your first video. So I am going to show you a really handy tool that you can use when you are having a really stressful, niggly day with your lower back, and it just brings space and more breath to the area in a restorative way. I tend to use this when I am feeling out of balance, out of sorts, my back's aching, and I just feel really tired and I really just want to relax and not do anything. So this is fantastic to do. You can slot it in any time of your day, so you can even do it on a bed if you prefer, but I actually prefer to do it on the floor because I feel like I've got the earth beneath me giving that support. And it's easier to feel the bony landmarks when you're on a slightly harder surface. Saying that, I would recommend that you can do it obviously on carpet. That is absolutely great. In fact, that's perfect. Or you could, if you've got hard floors, you could use a couple of blankets on top of your mat. That would work really, really well. So, just come to seat, and you can sit in any way, so you can be cross-legged, or you can have your legs out straight. So I am just going to have my legs out straight, and I've got my nice cozy socks on as well because I'm a little bit chilly. And we'll just start by drawing our arms, our hands up and down our legs, reaching right down into the feet, just as a sort of way to tell our body to relax a little bit, just for it to go, this is nice. Okay, so you can squeeze the toes a little bit. Obviously you don't want to be reaching too far if your back's really sore. So if you are cross-legged, you won't obviously have to reach quite as far here, but just do what your body's asking, and then we're going to roll the shoulders round a few times one way, and then just breathe. And then gently the other way, so do that quite softly, so we're not doing it too vigorously. Okay, and I'm just going to literally do a little stretch up as though you're going to yawn, and I'm sure if I've just said that you'll probably want to do a little yawn. You can do a little stretch. Deep breath in and just go and there you go. We're going to roll down onto our back. So shimmy your bottoms forward. Now when you come down, please do this really mindfully, okay? So you want to take your time coming down into this position. So I would scoop the belly in a little bit, hug up from your pelvic floor, so you've got that core support without plonking down in any old fashion. And then walk little kitty cat, hands down, sliding down. Take a little pause, take a breath, and then shimmy down a bit more. Now I've got a pillow to support my head. You don't have to have any support there if you don't want to, but I would recommend it that if your neck, and I will show you, tips back, or your head tips back when you're in this position, and you're up here, I would recommend a folded blanket under the neck, or a cushion, just to bring your head in alignment with the rest of the spine. You want to be in this neutral position. Really, really important there. Okay, so you're going to shift around a little bit, really gently. Not big ranges of movement here. Just wiggle around until you find a kind of balanced place. Now our bodies are very asymmetrical, so you might find that you've got one side is a little bit more dominant than the other, and to be honest, that is very, very normal. My whole right side is completely different from my left, so very asymmetrical. But we're just at this phase bringing more space and breath to the area without actually doing any real movement in this video, okay? So this is more of building awareness and just relaxing, so a little bit more restorative. So just lying there and just feeling the weight of the earth underneath your body. And just notice how your body feels while it's lying here. You can close your eyes if you want to. In fact, I probably would recommend closing your eyes because then you can really bring some introspection there. And then just follow your breath. Notice where your breath meanders to. And can you let the bones, the bony parts of your body, the pelvis, the spine, the shoulder blades and the head, make contact with the floor and just relax. Give yourself permission to let go and release. If you find that your lower back is feeling particularly sore today, it's quite nice to just stay here with the breath and create this very, very subtle movement with the pelvis, so gently that you could barely tell that you were moving, and it's like tipping the bowl. So imagine your pelvis like a little basin that you're tipping one way very slightly, one way then the other. Keeping the breath just as it is and just keeping it flowing naturally. We're not doing any real techniques with the breath here, we're just noticing at this stage. So whether you're moving your pelvis or not, you may find with each breath that you can relax a little bit further. But it's okay that if you still feel that you've got lots of tension here and there, again, that's quite normal, so try not to judge yourself for that. It can take time and a little bit of patience to relax everything when we have been running around like a headless chicken, doing everything. And sometimes just coming to this position can feel quite nurturing. Okay, so just come to still and just breathe. Can you create more space on the in-breath through the collarbones perhaps, into the chest area? And as you exhale, you can add a slight audible sigh. And your next in-breath, can you bring that breath a bit further down to the rib cage, into the front and the sides, and even the back of the rib cage. And this is where most of the lungs, parts of the lungs sit anyway, towards the back of the rib cage. So if you can deepen your breath as you breathe in, and then just let the pelvis relax, let your breath, as you release and breathe out, just let the breath fall back down towards the pelvis. So just breathing a little bit deeper and wider, and then exhale, release and let go, just let everything drop down. Let the weight of the earth hold you in this space. Do that for a couple more rounds. Maybe feeling a little bit more weightless, or maybe even more heavy as you meet the earth on that out breath. And then you could, if you wanted to, create a little bit more movement in the lower back, so not pressing down, but more of a mobility, just to feel feel the parts of the sacrum. So the sacrum are the base of your spine. It acts as a shock absorber. And it takes quite a lot of stress, but it is very strong. Can you feel that sacrum as you move? Maybe you could just do a little side to side movement, a little bit with the legs, feeling all those different parts. So almost like windscreen wipers, but so subtle, hardly moving. All the while, keeping everything else really relaxed. Breath is soft. Less is more. So you don't need to do these great big huge movements to bring space and release to the body. Sometimes the smaller movements, the more subtle movements are incredibly powerful to bring some space and balance to the body. And then come to still. If you feel the need to, you can just really gently add a little bit of core support before you move the legs. So just a slight hugging in, up through the pelvic floor, slight hugging in through deeper muscles, deeper layers of the belly, and then just bring your knees in, not pulling them all the way in, but just lifting your feet off the floor. And maybe you might want to do some very small circles here, one way, and then you could go the opposite way as well. Just breathing and noticing what you feel without any judgment of how things should feel, or just releasing all of that and just letting things be as they are is great. Just to notice and to feel into the body, just to break away from the normal rushing, doing, all those responsibilities. Okay, really slowly take one foot down, really mindfully, just thinking about each movement. Deep breath in and just sigh it all out. Press down with your feet, lift your hips and just shimmy your hips over to one side, and then just roll over to one side, and then just pause here. Take a pause. Notice how you feel. And then super slowly press your hand into the floor. We're going to come up. A little bit of support as you lift up. And there you have it. Hope you feel a little bit more spacious there. So that was just creating a little bit of space, a little bit of breath for the spine, just more nurturing in that area.